before we get started with the build, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and that like button. Let's go. So this is my Soulweaver Warlock build. Most of you guys know I play an Arbiter, but I decided to try something new, and here's what I've come up so far. Uh, it's honestly pretty good. I enjoy it, and yeah. So obviously, I chose the Soulweaver path as the Paragon path, and for the race I chose Metallic for the extra 3% critical strike and power, and then you also do get 3% more HP and 3% incoming healing. For the attribute points, I went into Wisdom and Charisma, primarily because Wisdom gives outgoing heal and Charisma gives me that forte, which is important really for your Soulweaver regen, and also it gives you critical strike and critical awareness, which I have no idea. I mean, I guess critical awareness just means awareness, but yeah, it gives you that Soulweaver regen, which is really important. And then obviously the Wisdom gives you the extra outgoing healing. Yeah. For the powers, I use Eldritch Blast and Soul Reconstruction. I only use Infernal Barrier if I'm just messing around. For the encounters, I normally just run Soulstorm, Wraith Shadow, and believe it or not, Vampiric Embrace. I always run the Cleanse just in case. It's always there. Warlocks really don't have that many healing powers that are good, so yeah. Vampiric Embrace and Soulstorm is the only two things I use. As for heals, I use Wraith Shadow just to put that debuff on a boss or whatever. It is damage mitigation after all. And yeah, I could run Pillar of Power or Warlock's Bargain, but I usually don't need the extra outgoing healing anyways, so I just keep those on. But if I am in a group that is really in game, or like for trials, I would switch it up a bit, but currently I just stay this way. Most of the things I run, I don't need to switch these at all. For the dailies, I run Soul Barrier and Brood of Hadar. Soul Barrier is really just for damage mitigation and just a really good daily basically, and also gives you it also gives a heal over time, and it puts up a barrier on anybody that's in the circle. But the thing about Soul Barrier is, we'll get into it in a second. Second daily is Brood of Hadar. I just have it just to have it in reality. That's all there is to it. I don't use the Soul Pact or none of the other ones. I just keep on Brood of Hadar. Class features, I run Shadow Walk and Dust to Dust. If I am running with a group, I would take off Dust to Dust and put on Soul Bond. But Dust to Dust and Shadow Walk is what I usually use by myself. But for group content, Shadow Walk and Soul Bond. I don't switch to anything else because in reality, this isn't really that useful. And honestly, you just have to stand still for like half a second. It's really not that critical. And then everything here just takes your soul weave, and it's honestly a bad thing. But yeah. And primarily you're not killing enemies, so Dark One's Blessing isn't useful either. So for my feats, I'm running Essence of Power, Focus Spark, Soul Theft, From the Brink, and Fey Pact. The reason why I don't run Hell Pact is because I don't. I rather heal instead of putting up shields, and sometimes I don't want to use Hell Pact anyways, because if we have a Paladin in a group, I think they do cancel each other's shields out, so this would be a bad thing to run anyways. From the Brink, when healing allies with less than 25% of their maximum hit points, healing is increased by 15%. This is really good in case your allies are about to die and you just pop down Soul Reconstruction or something like that, or you just put down another Soul Storm right for your group. It's really good. Soul Theft, whenever you're struck, you regain 25 Soul Weave. This is pretty good, especially if if you are running mechanics. Everything sometimes does hit you, so it does proc quite often. This doesn't really matter because you're not really a DPS. I mean, if you want to make a hybrid DPS, then by all means go ahead, but you're not a DPS, you're a healer. Focus Spark, Soul Construction now grants the target the effect of Focus Spark. Increases the heal magnitude of Inspirit on the target by 100 and causes Life Spark to focus on heals target above other party members. Basically, you just focusing on one person. Essence of Power, whenever you deal damage to enemy, your Soulweaver regen is increased. Duration is 6 seconds. In all honesty, this is always up. And this dissipates every time you cast a heal. So, majority of times, everybody's getting hit, or somebody's getting hit, and you'll have to heal them. Especially if you're doing a trial. Most of the times, once the tank gets hit, they probably need to be healed anyways. So yeah. For the boons, I'm running all power and all defense statistics and some offensive statistics, basically critical strike and critical severity since we are a healer. And then my my tier 5 boons, I'm running Forte and Blessed Touch for the extra outgoing healing and also the extra Forte. For the Master Boon, I'm currently running Blessed Resilience. This is pretty good, especially if your group is undercapped in defense. If your group is undercapped in defense, they probably need this because most things will probably one-shot them. For the Stronghold Boons, I'm running Critical Severity, Critical Avoidance, and Mount Speed bonus. Critical Severity just for the stats, obviously, and Mount Speed bonus. Critical Avoidance also for the stats. These are what you want to play with, but whatever stats you're missing, you primarily want to put your boon points or your stronghold boons on. For the companions, I'm running the Black Ice Prospector. In reality, I can run any companion, but this is what I run. I know, jokes. For the companion gear, I'm rocking a golden talisman, a gold icon, and a chained icon with the precision enhancement. Most of my indomitables I will switch out, and also my enigmatic I will switch out for actual profanes and some critical avoidance pieces. Some of these pieces will be switched out, but this is what I am rocking, and it works out pretty well now currently. For the companion bonuses, I have Baby Deep Crow for the 7.5% power, Radiant Insight for the 3.8% outgoing healing, Quickling for the outgoing healing and a crit chance, Baby Owlbear's Instincts for the outgoing healing and the defense, and Compy's Instincts for the extra 7.5% power. So, the only reason why I have those companions is because as a healer, the 4 things you basically want to focus on that is offensive or healing is obviously you want to cap power, critical strike, and critical severity. So you want to get as much Forte as you want because this does also help your critical strike. And you want to have around 60% outgoing healing. The only reason why I don't have 60% is because my item level. This game, everything now works based off of item level. So the higher your item level, the more your base stat you need, and the further base stat the lesser base stat you have from your item level, the less percentage you'll have. So the more I increase my item level and the more stats I don't gain, the harder and harder it will be to keep up with the percent values. For the gear, I'm rocking the Whisper's Hood just for now. In reality, you can switch this with the Gorstro Horns. It would be your best replacement, but I already reached 90% critical strike, so I don't need it. So I keep the Whisper's Hood for the critical strike and the crit severity, and also I am rocking a dark enchantment on utility for the extra Forte and the critical severity modification. For the chest piece, obviously the Ribcage, basically mainly because of its equip bonus. It is the best chest piece to have in reality for almost everything. I don't think tanks use it, but almost everything. When you damage a hero target for more than 10% of your maximum hit points in a single blow, you gain 2.5% critical strike and critical severity for 15 seconds. Mass stacks of 5, so basically you gain 12.5% critical severity and critical strike for 15 seconds. And also I am running a critical avoidance modification. Oh, and the enchantment is a Azure with a rank 8 fire burst. The armor enchant can be whatever you want to run. This is just what I have. Primarily if you want to be focused on survivability, just put on a bark shield. For the arms, I am running the Arms of the Last Resistance, excuse me. And I am rocking a Forte. The only reason why I run this is mainly because of the extra 5% power and defense you gain. In reality, if majority of times I am further away from my group, just because I want to be able to see both the tank and the DPSs at the same time. So it really helps me out there. And I also do have the extra modification for the critical severity. And also the one thing I do like about this is that it gives you stats that you need as a healer. It gives you defense, it gives you crit strike. That's amazing. And then there's double defense, so obviously you need a lot of defense as a healer. And these arms are probably like the best in reality. For the main hand offhand, I am running the Masterwork weapons, and I rock a Vorpal enchant in here. Masterwork weapons give you a set bonus right here. You and nearby allies are currently the following: 2% outgoing healing, 2% outgoing damage, and negative 2% incoming damage. I basically use this just to buff the group, and I also don't have the Lionheart or anything else, so it doesn't really matter. That's what I use. Oh, and for the modification, Soul Reconstruction. And for the offhand, I am rocking the Forte and critical avoidance. As you see, I have a lot of critical avoidance because I want to make sure I'm close to that 50% cap as possible. For the boots, I am running Greaves of the Light Guard. This is also double defense, which is really good, and it also gives you 7500 power, which in reality is basically 7.5% more power. And for the modification, I am running critical severity and a dark 15. As you'll see, all my utilities are darks. I keep them for that exact reason, for the Forte. Now for the 3-piece set bonus, I am running the Tiamat set. This set gives you outgoing healing and incoming healing by 5%. And for the neck, I am rocking darks and radiance. And for the modification, I am rocking stamina regen. For my ring, I am rocking Ring of the Fallen Power plus 5. This procs immediately for some reason when you get in combat, so you have your 10 stacks immediately. This also does give you critical avoidance, which, like I said, you want to be as close as to that 50%. So critical avoidance it is, you know. And for the enchantments, I am just rocking Radiance. I can change all my offensive enchantments if I wanted to, but there's really no point because I reach every cap. So yeah, and you guys would be able to see the combat overview at the beginning of the clip. So yeah, I will show you guys that. Second ring, Brutal Ring. I don't really care for the equip bonus. I primarily put it on for the stats. It gives you that critical strike and critical severity. I also currently don't have a modification on here, which is kind of amazing. So I'll probably put an awareness modification in here, most likely. Yeah, or another stamina regen. For the waist, stamina regen modification, you guys see the stats. And also, this does give you 2 wisdom and charisma. Basically, the 2 things you need as a healer on a Soulweaver build. For the shirt, I do have the critical strike shirt. It also gives you cooldown reduction, which in reality you don't need at all because you're a Warlock, Soulweaver healer, and you don't really have any cooldowns. But primarily, I have it on for the extra critical strike, which is almost 2% basically. For the pants, I am rocking the critical avoidance. Once again, critical avoidance. And also this gives you 25 action points when you critically strike. Well, it has a chance. And I am rocking the three-piece book set, just mainly because of the extra 0.5% power and the 5k maximum hit points. And it also gives you +1 to all your attribute points. And for trials, usually I just switch these two around, and I still keep all my 3 books. Tiamat's Orbs is actually a really good damage mitigation. As you can see, it stuns targets from nearby enemies and reduces your damage by 15% for 6 seconds. So yeah, I just do this, and I just put this on, and just there you go. You know. But usually I rock the Frozen Journal for the group just so they can get that extra 5% damage. As of right now, most of the things I need to do, I don't really need damage mitigation, so I rock the Frozen Journal. Now for the mounts, I'm currently rocking a few Warlords for the extra DPS, Artificer's Persuasion, and 2 Gladiator's Gal. And as you see, most of my insignias are Brutals and Fortitudes and Dominances. My collars, I'm rocking 4% encounter power, 3% critical severity, 3% incoming healing, 3% stamina regen, and 6% rough AD. The only reason why I have on all the dominances is because, like I said, you're a healer, and this basically gives you the 2 stats that you need as a healer: Forte and Power. That is important. Alright. And I think that's it. Yep. That should be it. I showed you guys the boons, companions, mounts. I went over the character. Yep, that's the video, guys. Thank you all for watching, and peace out. Ah, stupid old Zess. Forgot to bring out the food. Yeah, so here's the food that I run. So I run a watermelon sorbet for the 10% power, the Wildstorm elixir for the 10% crit severity and 400 critical strike, and the superior flask of potency, which gives you 7.5% crit severity, 440 critical strike, and 440 power. Don't really care about the accuracy.